myself, like, is this shit normal? Because you don't understand. You literally sit there, and from a healthy side of relationships where you were growing up with the tools and every bit of, like, your parents maybe had a functional relationship, you don't know what the fuck you're even talking about or looking at when you look at me and Drew and don't know how we could not see it's dysfunctional. For me, I'm learning it as I go, and I'm sitting here like, this just doesn't feel right. But then, like, when I was a kid, like, I was forced to see that this is the only way. So it's like, okay, but now as an adult, when I act out the same way and I see how it affects the people around me, like, I'm trying to wipe my camera off. It's not any better. It just doesn't feel right, especially when it comes to, like, with our kids. And I don't want to just, like, get on here and just put all of our bullshit out there, especially because, like, well, to me, I could give a fuck. If Drew wants to sit there and be like, well, Stephanie does this, Stephanie does that, Stephanie, go ahead. Because, like I've said a million fucking times, if there's something I need to work on, I'd rather somebody tell me than just have it against me and just not tell me. Because I want to be accountable and I want to work on my actions. Opposite for him. He does not ever want to be held accountable for anything he does, and he doesn't see. In fact, like, when I say, like, hey, why would we try to parent like that? He's like, why can't I ever just do things the way I want to do them? And, like, I'm always just being stripped down to the way I do stuff. If that's how you see it, bro, go. Like literally, this is where I'm at with this, is that I get tired of people acting like I'm just sitting here so drawn into him and so, like, stuck that I wouldn't give my kids another opportunity. I tried to fucking leave, like, I don't know, a little over a month ago, and he asked me to stay and asked me to continue working on our stuff, and I just keep wondering why. Because how do you have time to read, literally, guys, you go into his messages on TikTok, not one is unread. I have 900 and something unread. I don't have the time to sit there and read through every message, but he sits and reads every message, and 90% of them come from women who are thirsty. What are you doing reading all that if you're actually satisfied in the relationship you're in? I can't stomach it because it does not make any sense to me how many things he'll do that don't show a true level of commitment, and then he sits back and tells me, don't leave. No, I'm all for this, and, like, makes me feel so like I'm the one in the wrong for even questioning it. And then as far as, like, oh, he's sleeping on the couch, that's by choice, okay? Because I have been bed sharing with the two younger for a while now, and by the time he gets home, there's not much space left in the bed, and he's like, well, I'd rather just sleep on the couch than try to squeeze my way into the bed with my family. That's on him. I never said you couldn't get back in the bed, and in fact, when he was home the other night and we all went to bed together, I slept halfway on that pile of stuff that's, like, my clothes and all the sample stuff, halfway on that, so there was space for him to be on the bed with us. But, like, in the morning he was like, oh, you look like you slept good. That's the kind of shit that I'm like, really, bro? You seen I was sleeping half on stuff, and your interpretation of how my night was you slept good. Shows how much you pay the fuck attention to me. Like, I toss in between it because people aren't blind. They see a disconnect and they see what's going on, because he posts things so separate and she posts things so separate. And if we were a family and we were doing family content, it would look a hell of a lot different. And I've said that multiple times too, because he keeps saying, well, I just gotta keep grinding and keep grinding. And he stays in this, like, almost like victimization of, I have to stay on the same role. When I say, okay, we're on social media, we got an opportunity that a lot of people don't get. And if we would actually play the fucking cards right, it's all there. All the opportunity is right the fuck there. And he's just like, yeah, eventually, and just never does any of these freaking videos with me. I have endless couple videos and just goofy ass things that I've been like, can we do it? Never. And this is what I keep going back to. It's like, I don't understand how a dad can be a freaking girl father and mistreat the woman they're with. For multiple different reasons. For one, your daughters are a reflection of your wife. So how can you sit there and have a better relationship with only the youngest than you do the rest of your family? Like, I used to watch those shows, where it'd be like, Black Daddy is just, like, extra with his baby girl. And, like, I get it. And it was like, to some degree, you just swallowed it as a normal. But then when you see it as your reality, it's like, why are you favoritism when there's the rest of these kids that deserve just as much attention? And I'm sorry that my words are starting to jumble together because I'm starting to get like thirsty and tired of fucking rambling. But this is just, I'm fucking so tired and so confused and so don't understand, because I feel this calling to just be the best version of myself, be the best woman I can, best wife. And then eventually things will work out, but it's like, bro, at what cost? My kids don't deserve to just keep living through this. And like I said, I tried to go like a month ago because I mentioned this. There is somewhere me and the kids could be, and it could provide some stability while we figure out the next housing opportunity. And it's just like, no, because that's separating the family, and that's, I don't fucking get it. Why, if you know there's somewhere that your family would be more comfortable, would you not want them there? Again, that's where I question, does he actually have the same level of genuine care? Because I point out things that could make a difference, that could be a better opportunity, and it's just a, oh, cool, not really gonna happen. Why? Okay, so I mentioned, like, if we're gonna be stuck here, again, through the fucking summer, through the kids' birthdays, can we at least go stay somewhere decent, like once or twice a month? And you just like, maybe. Why, bro? What is the hesitation to create more meaningful memories for your family than being stuck in this fucking motel room? And that's another thing. It's like, I'm here all the fucking time. Why would you not think about that? Who does that? That right there is making me about to cry, because I would never just shove him in a fucking motel room and not be like, baby, you want to get out once a day? And then every time I try to go, it's an issue. I have to have the car back. Or when the car comes back, I've done something wrong. Or you drop crumbs all over this. You did this and you did. That's why I'm like, bro, with all these women and his fucking comments and him just, or his DMs and him reading them nonstop, and this like, well, Drew's looking for something else, and y'all know what? Go ahead. That's how I feel about that. You think it's going to be so much better for you? You think he's just going to be an amazing man for you? And then I'm a piece of shit for saying otherwise, because he's just trying so hard. But if you're trying so hard, then... And since I love my baby girl to my core, like, I just know people are going to take it there and, like, try. I feel like I have to defend myself in this situation. Of course, I would want him to have the relationship he does with Manova, but I want it to be with the rest of the kids, too. It's hard for me to talk about, because it's healing seeing the relationship he has with Manova, but then it breaks apart in me that he's not the same way with Addie and Bo. I don't even know if I'm going to post